What is up, ladies and gentlemen, YouTube? That's right, I'm Christian, and today I'm going to be talking about Shameless Season 6, Episode 2, and here we go. Now, the basic plot of this episode pretty much picks up exactly where we left off in the previous episode, where now Debbie is pretty much trying to convince Fiona that she can actually have a baby and actually do school at the exact same time. So that is basically the thing, and Fiona is trying to convince her to get an abortion. So that is our basic plot line of this episode. Now let's talk about some highlights and let's talk about some negatives right here. I switched to the highlights, but here it is. Okay, some highlights of this episode is pretty much Carl, for one. Carl and his, take an inmate home program apparently is actually one of the more positive things in the episode. You see Carl now, he's apparently a gunsmith selling guns to his school, and now granted the acting black thing is questionable, but for some reason it's still enjoyable, and he seems like he's the only real one in the cast right now that seems like he still is in that old school Shameless vibe, because the show kind of did change and obviously everybody has to change, but Carl seems like he's the only one that really is still in that Gallagher survival mode for me personally. That is one of the reasons why I love Shameless to begin with. Also, some highlights of this episode is the awkward conversations with Lip and his teacher's husband and her son and whatnot. So Lip goes and he's having sex with the teacher, right? And then he eventually kind of gets jealous and whatnot, and the teacher kind of insists on him killing her husband. And I was just like, okay, I don't know if she's serious or not, but she kind of insinuates that she is serious, and now Shameless may be going through a darker turn with murder, and apparently that may or may not be positive depending on how this actually goes, but hopefully we don't go down that path, because that would be a little bit, I think, too much. How they get out of that, I don't know. Also, pretty much we realized that Ian is gone. Ian is left. He had a breakup with Fiona. They kind of had a fight. Now Ian's once again gone. He's off his meds. Also, Frank tries to find another Bianca, right? And this whole Bianca thing is kind of questionable, and I'll get to that, but Frank tries to find another Bianca, and by finding someone that has another stage 4 cancer, and tries to get them to kind of live the life to the fullest, but for some reason he does that, and then that person actually dies. Now this is going to be some spoilers in here, as I probably should have mentioned, but for some reason that actually does happen. Now this is where some things kind of take a bit of a turn for me personally. For one, I do not necessarily like the Will Sasso part, the guy with the dogs, the Jackson 5 dogs. I think that's a pointless storyline that's just kind of there. Also, I think Frank is starting to get stale for me personally, and that's just my opinion. Also, another thing that was a big highlight I forgot to actually mention is that while Fiona's trying to tell Debbie about the whole abortion thing, Fiona is now pregnant. So that actually adds a very interesting element to Shameless. For some reason, I don't know what the hell is going to happen on this season, but yeah. But back to some negatives is that, yeah, I'm not feeling the Will Sasso thing. Frank is starting to get a little bit stale. I thought it was funny, though. I thought it was very funny that, Debbie had pussy talk pretty much with the teenage moms. Yes, I thought that was just so weird and cringeworthy, but it was funny at the exact same time. But yeah, this episode was a good episode, but the things I feel like there's no place for Frank anymore, and I don't know if anybody else feels that way, but I feel like right now, and that's kind of his character, but for right now, I feel like there's nothing really for William H. Macy to do. I feel like he's done everything there is, and Frank's not even annoying anymore. He's just kind of there, unfortunately. But yeah, that's what I think. Also, for me particularly, it's that Debbie is trying to go to Florida, right? And she clearly heard that Derek doesn't want to go be with her, but for some reason she's trying to get to Florida anyway. It's just like, I don't think she understood what that means, and for some reason, maybe I'm looking too much into this, but I feel like this is setting a bad example for certain women. You're like, hey, go after your man even though he doesn't want to be with you, but I'm just pointing that out there. But yeah, this episode was pretty good, but I feel as if Shameless this season so far is slightly on the fence. The Frank stuff is boring. It's just stale as shit. If anybody has any other complaints about this episode, let me know in the comments what you thought. But those are kind of like my main things and some highlights. But yeah, comment, subscribe, like. I'm Chris Smith. I'm signing out.